Wednesday edition of the Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmos. Mark, 7 races to take a look at and some really good horses coming back as well.
Absolutely. Welcome to our viewers as well. Adam, a really good card, and we can sort of narrow it down to a few in each race, which is really good for the punters, and a few nicely bred ones stepping out as well in the 3-year-old ranks in the first race.
Yeah, looking forward to getting into that race as well as the full 7-race card. Let's take a look at the conditions, though, that we are going to be faced with. There is a chance of some rain, so just keep your eye out for that. The movable rail is out 12 metres, and just keep an eye on the track rating too, because there has been a bit of rain through Perth through the weekend as well. So looking forward to seeing how it all does play. At 12 metres, normally you do like to be on speed, so I'll be intrigued to see if that is the case again. Let's get straight into race number 1. It is an event for the 3-year-olds over the 1,000 metres, and as you mentioned, there's some nice horses that are well bred in this.
Indeed there is, Adam. The likes of number 12 there, Runs to Paradise from the Simon Milliard. They know how to train a young star. Filly by Sepoy, of course, champion 2-year-old and 3-year-old. But we'll have a look at the replay horse, which is number 6, Precious Memories. A really nice filly by Stratum who showed a lot of ability last preparation.
Wide but running on. My Brother Pencil's the leader from Speedy Ladidi at the 250 metre mark. A length and a half out time will come. Here comes Saul Special. He's still running on, and also Precious Memories going with it in the middle. It's Saul Special, Precious Memories coming away. Saul Special's got the head in front. He's doing a little better than them, and the charge forward.
Yeah, she showed a lot of class, didn't she? And even in that replay there, she did so much wrong, so green, but definitely has a lot of potential. She's the half to our finest moment. So we saw that to runner be a good 2- and 3-year-old as well. What I like here, drawn nicely in barrier 3 with the 55 kilos. I thought the trial was only okay. I think there are some other ones that trialled nicer, but you can't ignore what we saw last prep, that run behind Saul Special and even the run behind Hit Tune as well. So I think Precious Memories, if she has matured, would be very hard to beat.
Of course, that Saul Special run that we saw, that was enormous. You know, beating the likes of High Conviction. High Conviction had excuses as well, but it was no easy field. So if she comes back with that same ability, should be ready to go here. Also well bred by Stratum, out of a charge forward mare, just speed on speed on speed. We've also got another interesting first starter in number 2, Invincible Warrior from the Jimmy Taylor yard. Now, trials have been quite good. Interesting, they had a 1,000 metre trial, then a 400 metre trial. So I'm not sure where that leaves her for this race.
Yeah, just a little freshen up, I think, for the way that he was building into this. I really liked the trial over the 1,000 metres, beat Variation, which then came out and won at its next start. So was certainly some nice form lines there. As I said, I think the 400 is just a bit of a, wake up, make sure we're still ready to go. The blinkers are on here, barrier 8 with the 57 kilos. I was really impressed. Potentially
a little bit of barrier education as well before they go to the races. A couple more I want to touch on quickly. Adam, number 11, Miss Somebody from the Steve Wolf yard. Filly by Demerit. Now, they had another nice Demerit galloper win on Saturday in minus looks. That horse seems to have come back really nicely. Heading towards the WA Guineas. Who knows, the Wolf team could have another few nice weeks leading into the carnival.
This is a horse that just really intrigues me. We can't forget that it won a trial by 11 lengths, then jumped to the $2.90 favourite and was beaten on that occasion by 6.5 lengths. Now, what I liked in this trial was that the horse didn't just go out in front and do it easily. They worked into the trial, so we saw a different aspect. I think from what we saw there, if this horse again has improved as though it looks, I think it can certainly win the race.
And number 12, of course, the one we mentioned earlier on, Runs to Paradise, Simon Milliard. Peter KNUCKEY rides here, first starter, Filly by Sepoy. He was a superstar out of a Bletchley Park mare, and the trials have all been superb.
The half to Grand Nirvana as well, so as you mentioned, the breeding is really good here. The trials have been nice. Barrier 10 will be no issue. She'll be able to cross it from there and certainly play a bit of a part in the race. I think she is one of the main chances as well. But I'm going to go with the horse we focused on, number 6, Precious Memories, from 11, Miss Somebody, 2, Invincible Warrior, and 12, Runs to Paradise.
As am I, Adam. Same exact. Number 6 on top for me, Precious Memories, from the 11, Miss Somebody, 10, KARLAKEE Miss, and 2, Invincible Warrior.
Race number 2 out to Belmont Park. It's over the 1,000 metres, and again, there is plenty of speed in this race when you take a look at the speed map, Mark.
Yeah, it's a really nice race with the likes of JESTAJINGLE returning, and more race has been saved up for this easier assignment. But we'll have a look at the real speedy type who won impressively last start at Northam. Number 8, Lord Devoutly.
Had to swerve sideways to get around it. Back with it is Hell of a Dance. In the straight, though, Smith went for home. The favourite kick well clear, Lord Devoutly. He's sitting as quiet as a church mouse on the hot pot, led by 3 lengths. Running second is Excellent Jerry, followed by I Am Theodore, My Lane, Geiger Gem next, but it's all Lord Devoutly. If you're on board the hot pot, you better run to the tote queue and get an easy collect. Lord Devoutly under a stranglehold by 6.
It's an impressive run by this gelding by Discorsi. It's just taken a little bit of time to work into the racing game. I think was beaten 5 lengths in its first start, 4 lengths in the second one. Then was a nice performance behind Nashville Cat, and then last start, as you mentioned, won easily. Now the field is pretty average there at Northern, but it was the way that this horse did it, winning by 5 lengths on that occasion. William Pike takes a ride here with a 56.5 kilos. There is a lot of speed in this race, but I just think that experience and confidence gained from last start may find him very hard to beat here.
It's one thing we've learnt though, isn't it, Adam, not to get sucked into these horses that win by big margins, particularly at a track like Northam. It seems to be a track where they can get away and then hold that lead and hold that margin. So look, opened up around the $3.20 quote. Watch for the prices and watch for the markets, because this certainly is a competitive field, as we mentioned as well, Adam. Number 4, JESTAJINGLE returns. This mare by Lonhro, super. And that run last start was 3 wide. It was enormous to run third.
I think it's a race between two, and this is the second one as well. A very impressive winner beating a Laura May. We only have to remember the form lines that galloper went on. Won by 2 lengths on that occasion as well. Since then was beaten 3 lengths by Vega Magic, did only have the 51 kilos, and then last start behind Sovereign Hall, which was back in June, carried the 56 kilos. This is a much easier assignment from barrier 10. There'll be no issue trying to cross, and as I said, an on-speed day, I think JESTAJINGLE is going to be one of the other horses to run down.
Number 2, Captivated Point, another one from the Wolf Yard here, comes into this first up. Recent trial was good behind Pinzu, but those forms from back in April at Ascot was beaten 2 lengths by Shady Grey, who was flying at the time.
Yeah, exactly. There were some good form lines there. Won at Albany by 6 lengths before meeting Shady Grey, losing by 2 lengths. Then had one run and just had enough when losing by 5.5. The recent trial was good behind Pinzu, drawn a nice gate in barrier 2. With Randy Tan taking the ride means you get the claim down to 56 kilos as well. I think the speed in this race is certainly going to suit Captivated Point, because they can either lead, as we've seen in that last prep, or let these other ones try and cross like a JESTAJINGLE, get a nice sit and then get a crack at them late. So I think certainly has to go into the numbers, but I'll go with that last start winner, number 8, Lord Devoutly. From 4, JESTAJINGLE, 2, Captivated Point, and 3, Middle Gracie.
I'm going with the Jimmy Taylor train, Zazu Gelding. Number 5, More Races. I just think this looks a very suitable race from barrier 1. Should get a lovely run. Number 4, JESTAJINGLE, 2, Captivated Point, and 8, Lord Devoutly.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park. It's a Class 3 handicap over the 1200 metres, and Mark, I'm really interested to see how Big Caroline goes again. She just continues to run so many consistent races, and she deserves another win.
Doesn't she, what? Yeah, she just runs always well. For the G Dresco boys, that run last start behind War God has proven form lines. Let's have a look at that replay.
Chancery booted 2 in front of Mama Bear. On the outside, Big Caroline letting go with her run. War God winding up down the outside. Further back another Maori boy, Mark Katie's keeper, and deep out Kensington Abbey. 150 from home. Big Caroline tackled and headed by War God. It's War God surging clear. He's coming away. 3 on the trot for War God, and a treble for Harvey today.
Well, as you mentioned, the form lines here are the key, and they are certainly good enough to be winning a race like this. Look at the runs behind Majinka and Real Gleam, then a winner, then behind Remember Berlin and War God there, which is certainly going into a nice vein of form at the moment. I just think that she's going to be too good. When I look at this field, I think it lacks a lot of depth. There's horses you've got big question marks over, like Express Snooper, which just doesn't seem to run well at Belmont. 44 Red, certainly one that can return well. But then the others, the question mark is around the form lines, other than I think Cash on Call. So I think when you're looking at this race, it's probably again that she ticks more of the boxes that makes you want to back her.
Number 5, Cash on Call, you just mentioned there, Adam. William Pike riding for Grant and Alana Williams. They are on fire at the moment as the stable. Won its maiden last start at Northam on 30th of June. They tipped it out and they brought it back. It's had a really nice trial. It could be one of those horses that just wins here and then goes on with it, as we've seen with a fair few of the Williams gallopers.
Yeah, they're just in so much good form at the moment, aren't they? Pike on board, barrier 10. This horse I think will be able to cross if they want to and get into a nice position, or they can take a sit like they did when winning at Northam. I thought the run was pretty good, but I was more impressed with the trial, the way this horse just really attacked the line. I think it certainly has improved, even just in that little bit of time since June, and I think it's again one of the main chances.
Number 2, Scotty Bow as well, was good on the 1 week backup here after running at York, and was only beaten half a length on that occasion. Ran on well under Fiona Bell, who's riding in sensational form as well, the 3 kilogram claiming apprentice.
My only concern here is how far back Scotty Bow is going to get. As I said, I think it'll be a leader's day. Barrier 4, 56 kilos. Has won at the distance, but will need to be a little bit closer than we've seen in recent times, especially with the speed that some of these leaders can have. But I'm going to go with number 1, Big Caroline, for the consistency. From number 5, Cash on Call, 8, 44 Red, and 2, Scotty Bow.
When in doubt, go Pike. I've got the 5 on top, Cash on Call. From the 8, 44 Red. Number 1, Big Caroline, and the 2, Scotty Bowl.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park is another event for the 3-year-olds. It's over the 1,200 metres. And I'll tell you what, at the moment, if I was an owner, I would not want to have a 3-year-old because there are so many good runners. And again, this is another example of it.
Yeah, there are good ones, some good ones going around, Adam. Number 2, Variation, last start winner at Northam. Won impressively and beat Carnelian on that occasion, who's since come out and won.
The outside, the more than ready filly putting in her run with Variation starting to weave its way through behind them. And there's a mighty gap coming for it. Down the outside, My Brother Pencil Explosion over towards the rail at the 200. Variation stormed through in the middle to grab the lead from Carnelian. My Brother Pencil Imaginary can't go on. Carnelian is stretching the favourite Variation. Variation, hard ridden though, will win. Variation scored.
This was a really good performance by Variation because you wouldn't have seen on the replay, but actually missed the kick. So dropped back and then had to push up through the field. It was a good ride by Brad Parnham. He was patient throughout, just worked up nicely into it and then waited to have a crack at them late. Carnelian's a very good horse in my opinion. I think it's a Saturday galloper that can play a part in some bigger races. So I think this horse certainly has some upside. Just not sure where we compare those form lines with a horse like Swift Platinum, which has got form lines around Samavora. I think Malawingu is going to be very good, and Jefferson showed a lot in Saturday Company on debut as well. So just not entirely sure where he's going to fit.
Yeah, the one you touched on there, number 4, Jefferson, I was quite keen on debut. Still ran a really nice race, was quite green and quite raw. Got the box seat run, but when pulled out under Sean McGrady on that occasion, didn't really know what to do, but still his last 75 metres was excellent and he hit the line very strongly behind the likes of G-Boss.
Needed the run, plenty of upside as you said, and I think from barrier 3 again, just going to get that nice cuddled run through the early stages and then get a go at them late. This horse will improve from that performance and I'm with you, I think it's the one to beat in this race and looks to have plenty of upside.
Number 5, Malilangwe, another one who's returning from the David Harrison yard. One of the David Harrison runners who returns with a trial, Adam.
Yeah, it certainly does, and the blinkers are still on here for this galloper, and I think that is the key. Saw that debut performance at $18, rattled home late, just beaten by Hitchin. I remember speaking to the owners, they said the blinkers had been on, we might have got the job done. Blinkers went on next start and the horse just pulled up a little bit sore from that performance, as you can see, beaten 12 lengths in the form guide. The recent trial was good. Fireman Freddie was pretty nice in that trial and was actually in this race as well, but I'm leaning towards it with 56 kilos, barrier 1. I think it can certainly play a part.
Number 9, Glimmer Girl as well. The blinkers go on this Daughter of Time Thief. Grant and Alana Williams trained for Bob Peters. William Pike takes the ride here. Out of his at Beale mare, so you'd suggest that this filly may get to over a mile and could be potentially one to watch out for in the spring.
I'm a little bit nervous when there's 2 Cerise and White runners and I don't have either in my numbers, but I do think that she's certainly got a lot of upside here. As you mentioned, William Pike that goes this way over T Dancer, which I think is the right choice. The blinkers are on just to make sure that she's sharp and ready to go, but I'm with you. I think just want to see her do this run and then step up to 1600 metres and she'll play more of a part there. But I have to go with number 4 Jefferson here. From 5 Malawingu, 1 Swift Platinum and 3 Fireman Freddie.
Going the 4 on top as well, Adam. Jefferson from the 3 Fireman Freddie. Number 5 Malilangwe and the 9 Glimmer Girl.